The South African economy is going to take long to recover. Thousands of jobs are being lost and many companies are closing down. However, this doesn't mean the country should rely on sovereign debt to stimulate the economy. Dr. Dennis George, Executive Chairperson of African Quarez, is suggesting that South Africa should lure foreign direct investment to set the economy on a recovery path and persuade big companies like Tesla to set up factories in the country. Dr. George joins us now via Skype. A very good afternoon to you, Dr. George, and thank you so very much for being with us here on SABC News, sir.
Good afternoon.
As a start, how do we encourage or lure foreign direct investment at a time like this? It's such a strange time when nothing is really certain and everybody's sort of jittery at the moment. How exactly would we be able to encourage or sort of lure that foreign direct investment to the country?
Yes, I think what is most important is that foreign investors would come to South Africa on the basis that they would assure that they're going to make a return on the investment, but also especially for those investors that's going to open up businesses in South Africa where we're going to create jobs for our people and to contribute towards the gross domestic product. Government has the responsibility to make sure that the environment is conducive for these investors to come on board. You saw what happened in China when Tesla decided to open up a plant for the electric vehicles in China, and the same happened with Germany. You can see that those governments are working extremely hard to make sure that we bring those investors on board. And there is a real opportunity that Tesla would like to open up a electric vehicle motor manufacturing company in South Africa, and we are in discussions with them, and we hope that very soon we will be able to make an announcement.
Yeah. The big international vehicle companies already here are actually really battling as it is. How would a company like Tesla set the economy then on a recovery plan, and maybe take us through what's being done in China?
Yeah, look, what you must accept that South Africa signed the Paris Agreement, and part of this whole process is the fact that we are not talking about internal combustion engine motor cars. We're talking about motor cars that will be driven by electricity and battery power, and that will also help the country to import less fuel into the country, because we import all our fuel from overseas. The small bit that we get from Sasol is a challenge. And that's the reason why government needs to put incentives in place. We must also make it possible, like we did in the 2008 global economic crisis, that you need to stimulate the economy. And that is the things that will make companies, come and invest in South Africa. But it could also be a good thing for job creation, because where we've got garages all over the country, people will most probably want to charge the batteries of their cars at these garages. So that will also help for the garages to diversify their fuel stations, so that people can also use electricity to charge their batteries at those cars.
Dr. George, we understand that you had a conversation with President Ramaphosa. You spoke in the past week. What was the purpose of that discussion? Adding to this matter that we're talking about, and really what came out of that discussion that was had?
Look, I have a responsibility to brief the President about our engagement with Tesla. And I basically briefed the President about that. And also I gave them a feedback, what is Tesla's expectations from South Africa, and what must we put on the table to make sure that we make the market more mature. Currently, the South African market for electric vehicles is very immature. And we're also looking not only at the South African market, but we look at the African market. And that could be a good growth spurt for our country to help us to get more foreign investment in our country, to create more jobs and to create more opportunities.
All right, so Dr. Dennis George, thank you so very much for talking to us and chatting to us about the possible economic recovery and how we would go by doing that. Thank you so much for giving us your time on SABC News. He's the Executive Chairperson of African Quarez, Dr. Dennis George. All right.